why different types of shutters, and some shops they have used some doors, and why do you think different stores have selected different kinds of solution? Choice of the design or the design decision of what kind of product to use at this particular point of time, it was totally based on the kind of goals they have. That's one thing, right? That's the first part of your question. What reminds me about UX in these situations is
So Anudeep,
yeah.
while we are walking on this road, I'm just observing there are like so many different kinds of shutters, doors, gates, and all.
Yeah.
So if they're all serving the same purpose, why do you think there are like different variations of those things? If you can see there is a shutter which is like completely solid.
Yeah.
There is a shutter which has some openings.
Yeah.
There is a glass door.
Yeah.
There's like a solid door. Like
Yeah. Okay. So firstly, let's separate out your questions. One is why different types of shutters, and some shops they have used some doors, and why do you think different stores have selected different kinds of solution? Basically, what you need to understand is to understand any design choice, the choice in between whether to use a door or a shutter. For any design choice, the choice is made basis what is the goal of a user. Okay. Popularly, it is either understood or misunderstood as, oh, you know what, shutter looks good over here, let me put a shutter. Or a door looks good over here. Right? It's not primarily the reason why you make a design choice. Instead, the design choice is made basis what is the experience which is being provided over here, right? And what is to achieve that particular experience, what is the goal which a user has? Now, if you think of it, what do you think can be a possible user goal related to a particular product? Let us say like a door or any shutter or anything which you observe over here. What do you think is a user goal?
the obvious goal is like to protect my house or my shop, anything. As a user, I want to protect my shop from thieves or anyone, like not to get in the shop or something like that.
Correct. Very good. Think more. The product is, if you think of it, the door or the shutter is not just solving one goal. It's not like, okay, I want to protect my shop, then build a wall, no?
Yeah. No, but I want to go in and go out as well.
Correct. So people should be able to enter and exit as well, right?
Yeah.
That is one more goal, right? What else? Just think more about it.
Space. Saving of space.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is that?
I mean, those shutters, you can just fold them. I mean, you lift them and they fold into a circle kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But if you cannot afford so much space for every shop,
Correct.
just by removing them as doors or keeping them again intact
Yes.
every
so
time.
basically, whatever door or anything which you have should not really occupy, so much space, because if that itself is occupying a lot of space, then you don't have the space for your own store, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Okay. So in this way, like, if you think about it, there'll be a bunch of goals for which each of these products have been used, or you can say these design choices have been made.
Yeah.
Okay. If you think of it, wherever there is a need for saving a lot of space, they'll probably go for that shutter. Okay. Let us say if you look at this Switch store. Okay, if you look at this, what they're aiming for is, right? They could have used a shutter and they could have closed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead, what they are aiming for is, if at all we use these doors,
There
they have another goal. Yes, that is, they want to be more visible. Just show that.
We'll take B-rolls, right?
They have a goal that whoever basically crosses this particular street, even if it is closed, even if it is open, we want them to see what's actually happening in the store, and therefore increase the visibility of the particular store. Right?
Yeah.
That's why they have used doors.
Yeah.
Because doors can be made out of glass, and doors can provide visibility, whereas a shutter cannot provide that visibility. Or what you can do is there are a few types of shutters which you'll observe in a few places. I think it's
Those grill type of shutters.
Yes. So there are these bunch of grill types of shutters which are also available. So now what they try to do is they offer both the ability to go and roll and not occupy the space.
Okay.
On top of it, they also give the ability
To
go
get
on.
a peek inside.
Yes, you
yeah.
can also understand what is inside, and if at all there is some light over there. I think I've seen some store over there where you can also see some of the items which are there inside.
Yeah.
So it gives protection from one side, but on the other side, it is also giving the visibility. On the other side, it is also providing the flexibility to go and roll and save the particular space, right? So the choice is the choice of the design or the design decision of what kind of product to use at this particular point of time. It was totally basis the kind of goals they have,
Yeah.
right? Now, that's one thing, right? That's the first part of your question. Right? Now, the next part of your question obviously is to how do you relate it to UX,
Yeah.
right? Now, what reminds me about UX in these situations is in a very similar thing. See, even on your in digital interfaces, the choice of your design element
Okay.
is dependent on what are the types of goals which you want to achieve
Yeah.
to a user.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the example I was giving, right? So, so it gives visibility of what's inside the store, and it's also, they have kept some light, and it's also giving the protection. Right? Anyway, now if you come to think of it, and when I'm talking about digital interfaces, right? Now I'll give you an example.
Okay.
For a goal of, let us say, a user should choose between a bunch of things.
Okay.
Okay. So what happens is, let us say, you can basically give a radio button. What can be a good example over here for selection?
Maybe like country code while selecting a radio button, male or female. Selecting
Male,
gender.
fine, gender, let us say.
Selecting a gender.
Okay, let us say you decide that, hey, you know what, there are, there is a male, female, and let us say probably there is transgender. Let us say that's what you have decided as point of time, and you wanted to give that as an option.
Yeah.
So what does the designer do? He's like, hey, you know what, let me use this as a radio button as an option.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll do that. That's why I want to bring one more concept over here. That is, we need to think a little more deeper than all the surface level ideas which we get whenever we take these kind of choices as a designer.
Okay.
The goal of the user is to choose, right? But on top of it, are you availing this choice and the kind of element which you are using? Is it going to provide a use case for for scalability as well? So just imagine you are basically you're just assuming that there are only three options over there. But if you really think of it, even in case of genders, it can expand to many types, right? Even if you see, I think Facebook, a lot of social media platforms, they provide a lot of options for genders.
Yes.
Now let us say it expands to around 40, for example, right? Will a radio button work?
It will work, but it would be like
It will
lot
be too
of
long. Like this.
Yeah, it's too
So
long.
basically, you excite gender, and then there's a big radio
Button
list of buttons.
Yes.
You have to select, and you have to see, and you have to select. So it doesn't basically work,
Yes.
right? That means you have not built that certain element for scale, right? In that case, you'll have to go and build a drop down.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
But the disadvantage of a drop down is the options are not visible upfront,
Yeah, we have to click and then see what all options.
and then see what are the other options which are basically present over there, right? So from this, what you need to understand is, so obviously every option, like let us say whether it's a drop down versus the radio button, just like the door versus a shutter, offers its own advantages and disadvantages, and the decision you take is basis the how is it that you will go and give the satisfy the goal of the user, right? Basis the goal of the particular user, how are you understanding, how do you want to provide the experience, right? Basis that you take a choice of this design element.
Yes.
Right? So that's what this whole thing inspires for me. I can add one more example also. Let us say, the radio, I made it into a drop down, right? Now let us say you want to just make it two options. Okay? So for example,
Yes or no? So just say if I'm asking some question,
yeah.
I just want to know it is an yes or no.
Are you inside the train or outside the train or something like that?
Something
Let us-
like that, yeah.
Right? Like a yes and no need not even be two radio buttons. They can just be, they can use another element called switch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Are you inside the train? Switch. right? So it saves even more space. It is used only for yes or no kind of choices, binary choices.
Yeah.
You can use that particular.
Do you want to get notifications?
Yes or
Yes,
no.
no. Done.
Right?
Yeah.
So for the goal of choosing, there are 3 different types of elements which are available for us.
Yeah.
There's a switch, there is a radio button, there is a drop down.
Yeah.
Right? And if you think of it, there are depending on the nature of choices, multi choices or single choices and stuff like that, there are way many other types of elements also which are present, which you'll use basis the goal and the micro goals of the user, and especially how is it that the user is having their journey associated with this goals, basis that you basically select these elements. Okay, so that's my thing on relating this to UX from a bunch of shutters and doors which are present.
No, I just want to add
Wait.
yeah, one more question about it. Like you were talking about, like if you think on a surface level, these are the choices. Like you'll be limited to certain things. So if you, as a beginner, I want to get out of these surface level answers. I want to
Yes, that's a
Building
very
like-
good question. Very good question.
like think of the scalability or the goal,
Yes.
like basis that I want to
Yes.
come up with solutions. What should I
Yes.
do?
So basically, if I have to expand your question, so what generally happens is, yes, so especially when you're starting out, generally like, hey, you know what, it's a choice. So most probably I'll have to give a radio button, right?
Yeah.
Most probably you'll not even think of, oh, should I make it a drop down or should I make it a switch and stuff like that,
Yes.
right? So generally we just end up with some of the first ideas which we get.
Yes.
Okay. So the thing is, yes, so therefore as a designer, we need to be very conscious about going beyond surface level thinking. It is one of the most important fundamentals of becoming a designer. If you want to become a very mature designer, you need to be very conscious about going beyond surface level thinking, right? So what happens over here is, firstly, that's why you need to understand that thinking takes time.
Okay.
You need to really understand this. Good amount of thinking takes time, and that happens only by going and flushing out all the surface level ideas. I'll explain. So basically, whenever you are presented with some situation, we generally call it as a design problem. So that particular situation you had, okay, you know what? Here people have to choose. So that's called as a design problem.
Yeah.
Very different from a user problem or a user pain point. Like user problem is basically like, oh, user is frustrated, they're not able to. That's not what this is.
Yes.
A design problem is about fulfilling the goal of a user. That's what a design problem is.
Yeah.
Right? Now you define the design problem over there, and then what you do is, the moment this design problem comes to you, then let's say you start thinking about ideas.
Yeah.
When you start thinking of ideas, the most natural instinct we will have is to come up with some surface level ideas.
Yes.
So there is no way where we can say, no, I will not even think about surface level ideas. I know I need to only get deeper ideas. It won't happen directly. Surface level ideas will come, right? All we need to do is, we need to give enough time to the surface level ideas to go away, and then the deeper ideas start coming to us.
Yeah.
That's the only way in which we can go beyond surface level ideas.
Yes.
So there is a very popular technique which is used for going beyond these surface level ideas. Okay, and the technique is called as Crazy 8. So you might have heard this term
Yes,
called
yes,
Crazy
yes.
8, right? So basically what they ask you to do is take 8 minutes, have a limited time boundary, take 8 minutes and come up with 8 ideas
Yes.
in that 8 minutes,
Yes.
right? And the idea is to be as rough as possible. Now, the only aim of this exercise, Crazy 8, people misunderstand it. Oh, you know what? I need to come up with 8 very good ideas in 8 minutes. That's not the point. The point of Crazy 8 is very simple. Because you only have 8 minutes time. You don't have time to think so deep about those ideas. All you need is to churn out all the obvious ideas which you have, and you'll be surprised. The aim of Crazy 8 is to actually fail doing it, not achieve doing it. Why? Because after a point, your surface level ideas will be over.
Yeah.
They'll be like, let's say you like third minute, fourth idea came. After that, your ideas are repeating. You're not able to think more.
Yes.
That is the point of Crazy 8. You'll stop with it. Surface level ideas are gone. Now you need to think really more. You have to understand the design problem much better to actually think of all those deeper ideas which are not the surface levels. That is when you will actually go and think beyond the surface level, right? And for this to happen, you need to go back to understanding the problem in a much more deeper, right? So one is, yes, you need to churn out the basic surface level ideas. That is one. But after that, you need to go back into defining your problem very well, right? In UX, we also call it as redefining your problem. right?
Yeah.
So how much clarity do we have the problem? How much have we empathized the user over there? How much did we understand the number of cases over there? How much did we understand the journey of the user over there? After you understand all these things, you will define your problem in a much better manner. Then you will be able to think out of these things. For example, let us say, like people could have said, hey, you know what? Let's just skip doors for that particular store.
Yes.
Like let's say that big store is there. Like just skip doors first, right? Then like at the surface level, you think, okay, fine, it's going to be doors. Now if you have to go beyond surface level, I can't just think, oh, what doors, what other type of doors? No, I can't.
Yeah.
What I need to do, I need to go back to define the problem, right? Oh, it's a very big space, huge doors, will be very heavy to remove,
Yeah.
right? It will be very, and where do these huge doors go and sit, right? Who will open these particular doors? And opening and closing these doors is very difficult. It's very difficult to maintain these doors. If one crack comes in this door, I'll have to replace this entire door. It is very difficult. So I'll have to. So the more I'm thinking about that particular situation, the more I'm able to define the design problem.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Now that I have done that, now like, okay, fine, it should not occupy so much of space. It should be strong. Whenever the door is closed, it should be strong, right? When the door is opened, like when the space is basically open, it should not take any space at all, right? It should be easily maintainable. Any place, wherever that particular thing spoils, I need to be able to repair only that particular part and replace it. And look at the beauty of the design of those particular sheds. Let us say someone shoots a bullet or something into the particular shed. Now only that particular part will get damaged.
Yes.
All I have to do is just a track, right? Just remove that particular part, put inside another part, and the door is fixed. Right?
Yeah.
So this is also called as modular thinking. Right? So in that particular manner, what you do over here is the better you define your particular problem, the more you go away from surface level thinking, and you will come up with more mature ideas. That's what you do. Yeah. So yes, guys. So thus hence proved that we can literally talk about UX from anything, any place, anywhere. So yeah, if you want to also participate in this, I would want you to go and comment. Like they say in movies, right? Any place, any center, any time.
Not single hand, Anudeep will come with two people.
with 2, 4 hands, 6 hands.
Not single hand, but 6 hands.
No time చెప్పు, place చెప్పు, రారా చూసుకుందాం. Awesome. Yep. Thank you.